Hello everybody, welcome to my video. I'm here to discuss what is a remaster and what is a remake. Now, the question that you're probably asking is why? Why are we bringing this video? Aren't they the same thing? A lot of YouTubers seem to think they're the same thing. Well, that's what I'm here for, is because they're not the same thing. A quick Google search for specifically what is a video game remake compared to remaster can show this. However, videos, even if it's a short segment of just text, videos are oftentimes more informative. So, what is a remaster compared to that of a remake? Well, remasters are upgrades to already built games. They update visuals, they port, they add minor gameplay additions, and even added levels. Now, what is that of a remake? Remakes are completely rebuilt. They are built from scratch, new game mechanics, modern gameplay sensibilities, new major additions, and new assets. These are very big, solid differences that should not be ignored, being like, hey, we already had a remaster, when remakes are completely different. Now, what are some examples of remasters? You have Gears of War Reloaded, Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Reloaded came after Ultimate, hang with me. Oblivion Remastered is also a, remaster. You have Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed Rogue, those are also remasters. Halo CE and Halo 2 Anniversary, those are remasters. Things that preserve the original game almost to the exact, with minor additions and updated graphics. Now, what are remakes? And why is it such an important distinction? Again, remasters preserve the original game as it was created, with minor additions, whereas remakes are completely new games, essentially just following the same story, with even able to adding new storylines to them as well. Some examples of remakes is the Dead Space remake, the Resident Evil 4 remake, the Black Flag remake, which I'm also pretty excited for. I never really experienced Black Flag all that much, and having that experience is going to be really nice to have. But remakes really do bring in a modern audience, a new player base, a new fan base, and it expands the world to something that wasn't seen previously. So here's an example of a remake's added gameplay mechanics. Dead Space 1 compared to Dead Space 2023. Or Dead Space 08 compared to Dead Space 2023. Gravity, 0G. So in the first game, you would look at a wall, if you were in a 0G area, you would aim your gun at it, and you would press Y, and you would float there. And it was very clunky. Whereas Dead Space the remake took elements from Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 3 to modernize the gameplay to make it feel less clunky and more fluid. Now, whenever you're in a 0G area, you would press LB and RB at the same time in order to float in the area. It didn't preserve the original, but modernized it to make it more palatable and less clunky. Less of a pain to move around. And now Dead Space Remake is my favorite Dead Space. It used to be Dead Space 2, but now it's Dead Space 1, or the remake. Likewise, Campaign Evolved has an excellent opportunity to bring Halo to a modern audience and actually make it, put it into a modern audience, not do the half-ass stuff with what Halo 5 did, where it did great gameplay additions, but there wasn't enough there, and the story was just bad. I'm not going to get into a rant about Halo 5. That game was something else. But back onto the subject at hand, as I should remain. Remakes and remasters need to be distinguished from each other, or we end up just calling everything remasters. And there will be this thing of, oh, you shouldn't buy this if it's a remaster, even though it's a remake. That completely changes everything. Like having this idea of, oh, this remake is actually a remaster and needs to have the exact same, has the exact same mechanics, exact same systems and everything like that, is ludicrous. Now, should it have similar systems? Yeah, I can understand that. I think dual wielding should return in Halo 2 and Halo 3, the Halo 2 and Halo 3 remakes. That is without a doubt. Do I think that it's going to be the end-all be-all? Well, for Halo 2, yeah, because that was kind of built for that. It's kind of on it's on the cover, because that was part of that one's core identity, right? Sprint was never it doesn't have sprint, and so that's its core identity, is to not have sprint, right? Halo 2, they were even fiddling with the idea of adding sprint. And Halo 3, though Halo 3 was more of a testing bed, they weren't actually going to implement it into the game. Anyway, I digress. Remakes allow for more creative control over gameplay mechanics and additions and lore, and it really expands not only the game but the universe, the lore, everything. And if we were just to be like, hey, it needs to be the exact same, then there would be no modern audience to go for. It wouldn't really change. It's been 25 years since Campaign evolved, or Combat evolved. Why do I keep saying Campaign evolved? It's two different games. Anyway, Combat evolved. It's been 25 years since Combat evolved. If it wasn't to change, the franchise would just perish, and I don't want that to happen. I don't think anyone wants that to actually happen, except some psychos. So I want to see more modern takes on Halo, and I think what they're doing is an excellent step forward. And this video is turning way more into a Halo video than it should. Anyway, I want your opinions on the Halo campaign evolved. If you could like, comment, and subscribe. I know I have things to work on, especially with audio recording. I really need to come up with scripts. I don't know why I don't do scripts. I have a slow brain. I don't really have a slow brain, but I do, like, when talking. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.